It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the USA water polo player Alex Bowen. How are you doing today?
Fantastic.
Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get started in the sport of water polo?
So I started water polo because, my dad was a coach. So I started when I was very young, but I was always around the pool. Basically kind of taught myself how to swim in the shallow end while my dad's yelling at kids on the other side of the pool. So just kind of started because it let me get closer to my dad, and kept going because I had so many friends that I played with for a very, very long time. The guys I played with when I was 10, 11, 12, I played with all the way until I was 18. And just the friendships and the closeness of the sport, really helps develop a love for the game, and you just can continue on from there.
Of course, how was it like, obviously, having your father coach in water polo and then eventually you playing water polo?
It was good. It was a good, it was a good way to connect with him. Good way to, it's always something that we can talk about. And I call him after every game that I play and let him know what happened and talk through things that I need to talk through.
What was it like going to college and playing water polo in college for Stanford University?
Oh, it was awesome. Stanford's such a great institution. We had a pretty good team out there too. Couldn't get a win. I couldn't get an NCAA championship win there, but we had a really good team. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
What was that like, getting to put on that water polo cap for Stanford?
Oh, well, it was a dream. I remember I was 12 or 13, going into high school. We had we had to talk about what colleges are you thinking about? Colleges, what colleges do you want to go to? And it's I was 12 years old. I want to go to Stanford. So as soon as I got in, I'm in, done. Don't have to do anything.
Of course, how is that like? As you said, at such a young age, you knew that you wanted to go to Stanford, and then you got to, obviously, when you were older.
Oh, it was, it was great. It was a dream come true.
Of course, what were some of your accomplishments during your time collegiately?
I think I ended up third all-time in scoring at Stanford, behind Tony Azevedo and Brett Bonani. We had one MPSF championship title my senior year. We made it to NCAAs my junior year and senior year. We won NorCal's. We won SoCal's my freshman year. I'm not sure if we won NorCal's or SoCal's any other time, but that they've changed those tournaments now, so those don't quite exist anymore. But we had some success, but we never were able to get over that hump to get an NCAA title.
Of course, how is it like competing in the NCAA national championship in your senior year?
It was great. It was even better because it was at UCSD, so it was in my backyard, because I'm from San Diego, grew up in San Diego, so I was able to play my last collegiate game in San Diego. So it was a little bit poetic for me. But the semifinal game was pretty rough. We went into triple overtime with USC and lost in golden goal with like 20 seconds left in the quarter. So we played 4 quarters, and we were playing overtime over there. We didn't have shootouts, so we played all 4 quarters, ended up tied. We played 2 more quarters, so two more 3-minute quarters, and then it was 3-minute golden goal overtime. So like we had already played for 40, but like we played for 41 minutes when a game's usually 32. So that was the most tired I've ever been in a game, and we just came up short. And then, I mean, we won the 3rd place game, but it doesn't really matter.
How is it like, obviously, making the national team in your junior year of college?
It was good. So junior year was 2013. That was the first time I went to a World Championships. That was Barcelona. I mean, it was great. Like, it was everything that I was working for, like understanding, like I again, from a young age, like I kind of just looking at the ages of the guys in front of me. So I kind of understood that like my college career, like I had a legitimate chance of making a national team, because a lot of the guys from 2008 and 2012, the guys who were at 2008 went to 2012. There's a lot of older guys on that team, so there was going to be like a phase out of the older guys. So there's going to be a chance for a lot of the younger guys to get in. So that was, I mean, it wasn't planned, but it was possible, and I was able to make a difference and jump in and earn a spot on the team, and haven't let it go.
Of course, what was that feeling like, getting to put on that Team USA water polo cap for the first time?
Oh, again, like a dream come true, but just like on another level. I mean, I love being able to play for Team USA. I love to be able to play for the Stars and Stripes. I love having that USA flag on my cap, and I try and play with as much energy and as much passion as I can when I do.
How is it like, obviously, going to Toronto in 2015 for the Pan American Games?
Oh, yeah, the Pan American Games in 2015 were awesome. That was a great tournament. Because the Olympics were in Rio, Brazil had already qualified. So we had to qualify. It came down, like everything aligned perfectly. So we were playing Canada in Toronto in the semis to qualify for the Olympics. So if we win that game, we play Brazil. It doesn't matter who wins against Brazil, but like beating Canada in the semifinals was the most important part. And I think we took that game 7-6, or 7-5 or 7-6. Might have been 8-6 too. But it was a really close game, a really hard fought game. And we held on. We played absolutely incredible defense, and I think they had like a penalty to make it closer with like 16 seconds to put the game within 1.
Of course, how was it like in the World Championship in 2015, but then going back in 2017 and 19?
So I've been to 5 World Championships. I went to Barcelona in 2013. I went to Kazan in 2015. Budapest was 2017. Korea was 2019, and then this last year for 2022 in Budapest. It was like going through all of those. Like it was, we've had our ups and downs. We've had some bad experiences. I wouldn't say bad, but unfortunate experiences. 2013, we ended up losing to Spain in Barcelona in the knockout round that took us out of the tournament. 2015, we ended up taking 7th, beating Australia in the 7th. 2015, we beat Australia in the 7th place game, and then 2019 was probably 2017 was probably our worst effort. We ended up having a very bad game against Japan, and that was a death sentence for us. And that tournament was absolutely awful. 2019, Lost to Greece that put us into the 9 through 12 bracket, and we beat Montenegro for ninth. And then this last 2021 or 2022, we beat Hungary in Hungary in a shootout, which was absolutely amazing. 7,000 fans, like the loudest like it's ever been for me in a water polo game. And to win that, and then we ended up going and playing Serbia in the 5th place game, and unfortunately losing to them. But yeah, 2021 was 2022 Worlds was great. I ended up being top scorer for the tournament in that, and I just wanted to have, I just won one of those medals instead. But it was a great effort, like for our team, and it was this last Worlds was the best we've done in a while.
Of course, how was it like training and competing in the 2016 Rio Olympics, your first Olympics?
2016 was it was good. The lead up for the training for that, I ended up going and playing my first professional season. I only ended up playing half because of some scheduling conflicts that forced me to come back to the US, but I was playing in Romania, and this was 2015. I graduated from Stanford, and didn't have a very good year. 2015 came close to, I learned later that I came close to being left off the roster, and went to Romania and like worked real hard and really got back into shape, and then joined the team in February. And the lead up for the training was, it was tough. It was the toughest I've ever had. Well, until the last Olympics. So like the training was great. Like we worked real hard. We unfortunately didn't get the result that we wanted from there. We ended up losing to Spain and Montenegro and Croatia, and that knocked us out. But we beat Italy and France, so we ended up 5th place in the group. So we didn't end up advancing beyond the group phase in that Olympics, but it was a disappointment for us. But we moved on from it, and we did really well in Tokyo.
Of course, how was that like the first time seeing your name on the Olympic team, and obviously knowing that you were gonna go to Rio and compete for the country on the biggest stage?
You never really, I couldn't really quite believe it until I was actually there. It wasn't like we had like our meetings beforehand. So we like the coaches, as well as like the president for USA Water Polo, and a couple other of the directors within USA Water Polo were at the meeting to congratulate us and tell us if we made the team or not. So seeing us, like having that meeting and like having that congratulations and a handshake, like it was just like, oh, it's happening, like it's the dream come true. So like the dream is starting.
Of course, after the Rio Olympics, what was the training like competing for your next Olympics in 2021?
Also, for us, like it just never stops. We go and play professional water polo from September to mid-May, late May, early June-ish, right around there, depends on the year. So after the Olympics, right before the Olympics, I signed a contract to go to Hungary, and I played the next 3 years in Miskolc, a small city outside of Budapest, about an hour and a half east. So like coming off the Olympics, it's like, okay, let's go play professional for real this time, because I was really only like this the previous time was, it was super important, really helped me out and really like got me going. But like unfortunately, like the scheduling conflicts like really kind of took the first like professional like season kind of out of it, so but yeah, played in Miskolc for 3 seasons, had a lot of really good success with them. Ended up going to my second year, we ended up getting to the semifinals in Euro Cup, which for that team was like super huge. Like it was a brand new team. So basically the group that I was with on that team ended up setting like all the best like marks for the team moving forward.
Of course, how was that like playing professionally overseas in Hungary after you at the Olympics?
It was great. The Hungarian league is super competitive. Continues to be continues to be. It's definitely the one of the most competitive leagues in the world. They've got a lot of talent, a lot of really good Hungarian talent, as well as they bring in a lot of really good foreigners. So like you look at the top teams in Hungary, like Ferencváros and Szolnok, but they're losing a lot of guys. OSC has like a no foreigner rule, but they end up picking up like a lot of the national team, so they're really good too. And who am I missing? OSC, Szolnok, Ferencváros, and Vasas ended up is spending a good money on foreign players as well, so they're loading up. They're really good too. So it's like the top 4 teams in Hungary are like really high level teams, and then you get down to five through 8, and even the top half, because it's a 16 team league, and the top half are really good teams, really competitive. And like when I was in Miskolc, we ended up taking 5th 2 out of the 3 years, and we were 6th 1 of the years. And that 5th place is so important because that qualifies you for Euro Cup. So a lot of the bonuses tied to that, you know. So the vibe, the energy in those games are incredible, especially like whenever you're hosting like a big team, everybody shows up and stadium's packed and everybody's chanting. It's awesome.
What were some of your favorite memories in this last Olympics in Tokyo?
Wow, that's a good question. So my favorite moments, like I think I mean, beating Japan in Japan was huge, because that really like ensured us moving to the next phase. And then I was super excited about my contribution in that game, and like I played really well. Like the Olympics was like, I can sleep well at night saying like the best tournament I've ever played in, the best series of games I've ever played were during the Olympics. And then I don't think I topped that effort in this last World Championships. I don't think I like, even though I scored a lot of goals, I don't think I played as well as I did in the Olympics. And I'm still like, I just got to get back to that like Olympic level, you know.
Of course, how did it feel to have the Olympic rings on your cap and also have Olympian behind your last name?
Oh, I mean, like it's an honor beyond honor. Like it's there's that. I love the saying that the USOC uses all the time. It's you're always an Olympian, never former, never current. You're always an Olympian. So that's I mean, that's a huge sense of pride for me, knowing that I've been played at the highest level that my sport has available.
Of course, for my listeners that don't know, what is the sport of water polo and how do you play it?
Okay, so you have it's a mix of a lot of different sports. Like basketball, you play offense and defense. Like hockey, you have, well, I guess like hockey, you have offense, defense, you have goals and goalies. But the water's melted. You have like you have a lot of the same tactics as soccer and hockey, I guess, and also you have a lot like, and basketball, a lot of the same tactics as basketball too, with picks and rolls and that kind of stuff. You are constantly swimming, you are constantly fighting, you are constantly wrestling. One of the, like, for if I'm not getting punched and kicked and beat up, I'm not doing my job right. So like I'm taking a lot of hits every game. And does that make a little bit of sense? There's a couple, like there's basically 3 different positions. You have or 4 different positions. You've got the center defender, goalie, and then you have like your outside players, which you can divide those outside players as right side and left side. There's a lot of movement, a lot of exchanging positions and that kind of stuff. Yeah, does that help out a little bit? It's a little complicated to get everything in, but there's like you're wrestling, you're fighting, you're swimming, you're treading. There's never a part in the game where you're just resting, except maybe after a goal, which you swim to the line, you got about 15 seconds and they start again. So
Of course, what is that like, obviously swimming in the pool with the ball and going at such a high speed?
it's, I mean, like, just it's like your body's like your body is desperate for air at all times. You have to be very aware of your breathing to make sure that you're not blowing out like all of your stamina and everything. You're fighting to survive, but you're also trying to get a ball and behind, trying to get a ball past the goalie into the back of the net.
Of course, what are some of your game day routines and rituals like?
So I've really tried to hone in on this kind of stuff. Like I know a lot of people listen to like to listen to music, like to like get themselves pumped up. Like I naturally like how like when I'm getting into the game, like I have like the excitement for me just getting ready to play like gets me to a high level of like excitement and like so like I usually need to like kind of calm myself down before a game. So I actually end up listening to like comedy podcasts and stuff and just to like take the edge off, smile, laugh, and just kind of like know that this is a sport that I love and just kind of come back to the root of being like grateful to play.
Of course, what is it like getting to meet your fans and having them ask for your autographs and photos?
Oh, you know, it kind of just always feels full circle for me. Like there's always like some fans who like come up for their autographs and I see myself in them like how I was 20 years ago or when I was coming to these games and asking the players before me for autographs. Like it's like I remember vividly in 2003 there was a game for the US team was playing a game in San Diego against at that time was Serbia and Montenegro. And I remember coming to the game. It was like a pool that I've been at a million times, but like it was just so much different, like with the stands completely packed and everything. I'm on the deck screaming and chanting and watching the game and having a blast, and then going over to all the athletes afterwards and getting autographs and everything. Like I remember being there. So whenever like I always try and sign as many autographs as I can for however many kids that want them.
Of course, how is that feeling like, obviously, as you said, growing up, you were that person that wanted the autographs, and now that you're an athlete and an Olympian, you get to sign autographs and add OLY to your autograph.
No, I mean that's like it feels like a full circle moment. So really like I love to do it, and it makes me feel like I just want to pass on the excitement to the next generation and really hope that they continue with the sport.
How did it feel the first time and even this time that you got your Olympic ring and knew that all of your hard work at the Olympics paid off?
Well, after I made my first one, making my second one, like it wasn't as much of a question. I wasn't as much on the line of making the team or not making the team. So whenever I'm training and everything, I'm not training to make the team. I'm trying to train for a medal. I'm making the team. Sure, that's the goal, but it doesn't matter if you're not. Like as much as I want to be an Olympian, want to continue to be an Olympian, want to like I want a medal. I want something hanging around my neck at the end of the day, and when I'm retired.
Of course, how did it feel to get to put on that Olympic ring and know that all of your hard work paid off?
Was that the same question? Okay. Well, my point was that it's not paid off. I've made the Olympics, yes, but I want the medal. I want the success at that level. I want that gold medal around my neck. So when I have that, then the hard work is paid off. Like until then, it's, well, I got to work hard.
Who are some people that you look up to in the sport of water polo?
Well, I always go to my backyard, guys who are from San Diego. San Diego has quite a few significant water polo Olympians. Jesse Smith, Lane Bowen, great guys who now I've become friends with. Jesse, I've even been able to play with in the last 2 Olympics. I mean, obviously, I looked up to Tony Azevedo, who was one of the best Americans ever at the sport. So it's like being able to play with them and like see them go and finish their career, and now it's my turn. So,
what are some of the things that you've learned so far as a professional water polo athlete?
Some of the things I've learned.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question. It's just the professional aspect of it, making sure that the whole day is water polo related. Like it's like your focus is water polo, and you have a professional mindset to be able to like take care of your body and make sure you're working, make sure your body's healthy, and make sure you're ready for the next day of practice.
What are some of your future plans in the sport of water polo?
Going to continue until my body stops. Like there's going to be a point where my body says I can't go anymore, but until that point, I'm going to keep doing what I love.
What advice would you give those college athletes that are looking to compete in water polo in college like you did?
For athletes going into college,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, keep your grades up, make sure you're working on your legs, and make sure you're working on your defense. Those things will get you a lot farther than just being a shooter. Like you can be a shooter. You have to be a shooter. Everybody has to be a shooter. But if you're a shooter and you can't play defense, you become a liability. You've got to have a well-rounded game and be able to do a little bit of everything, and you have to do everything at a high level. So you have to be able to play defense against the best player and then go down and score on them. Like you have to be able to at least hold your own against the center when you get posted up. Like there's going to be guys who are bigger than you that are going to try and push you around, and you're going to be able, and you have to be able to push back and hold your own. And then there's going to be guys who are smaller than you that are faster and can move better than you, and you've got to be able to hold your own. So you've got to be able to be well-rounded, and you have to be able to do everything in the game.
What advice would you give those college athletes that are looking to make the national team and even the Olympic team?
Work your ass off. Like you have to be, it's what's that old saying that like hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. So you have to have talent, you have to have a work ethic. So you can't coast on your laurels, you can't coast on your talent. You have to push yourself, and you have to really make the use of all of your talent and really like explore and expand on your game.
Of course, what advice would you give those Olympians looking to go to the first time Olympics or even multiple times like you have?
Well, I mean, for the multiple ones, they're right here with me. Like it's the guys who are it's at like right there with me. It's like, well, like for guys who are, I guess, my counterparts, it's like, let's go do this. Let's it's like my teammates or more like other multiple Olympians. Like other multiple Olympians, watch out. My teammates, let's go. Guys who are going into their first one, like calm down and trust yourself, trust your teammates, and just be ready and come out with a lot of energy.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media?
Mostly on Instagram, a brick Bowen. It's mostly just water polo stuff.
Thank you again, Alex Bowen, for your interview, and best of luck in your future as you continue your career for USA Water Polo.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Alex Bowen, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.